Let's have some sage burning. Smudge yourself. Yeah, everywhere. Smudge your surroundings. For those of you that don't normally meditate, set your timer. For those of you that do meditate, just play this again. We'll have a sip of our warm water. Yes, I said warm water. Clear out some of that junk. Breathe in so much that it stretches your lungs and it hurts a little teeny bit to breathe all the way in. Hold it. Hold it. Okay, do that 3 times. It's a perfect 70 degrees. We're comfortable in our skin. We're comfortable in whatever position we are sitting in with our hands and legs uncrossed. Yes, I said uncrossed. I generally have another sip of my warm water. No, I didn't say tea. And I focus on my question before I even ground myself, and a lot of you aren't used to grounding. Okay, so I got my question. Just one. Stay focused. You can do it. Stay focused on one question. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Grounding is when you tie your spirit to something bigger and stronger than you that cannot move you. Okay? I envision myself standing outside of a huge redwood tree. And as I fall back into my tree, to the center of the tree, you know they're huge, right? They go 400 feet in the air, 500 feet down to the ground. Yeah, so I'm a big girl. I know Spirit doesn't have anything to do with that, but I like being well protected by my huge, massive redwood tree. You can use a bubble, you can use a vault, that you can breathe in. You can sit on a cloud. You can do whatever you feel comfortable doing and try something different, see what works. Okay, so I'm in my tree. I can see my silver cord attached to my body outside the tree. I've got my doorkeeper there, and I've got my master teacher there that will let nobody in my body while I'm out of my body. Okay? And at first, I just absorb the warmth of the sun on my back as I walk on the grass. I like going to the park and the forests. And sometimes I change the scene into a beach, and it morphs into a beach, and I'm just walking along the beach and just see whoever is coming your way. Who is that figure 50 steps away? Can you see them? What do they look like? What do they sound like? What do they smell like? I materialize in my meditation a bench so we can sit down and be comfortable. Sometimes I fly. I just hover above the ground in my invisible chair, and we just sit and talk. And I say, who are you? What are you here to teach me? And we just ride as long as we can ride. As long as you can stay focused. See, that's the purpose of being able to stay focused for hours on end. need the ability to stay focused, be still, no interruptions, no kids, no phone, no TV, no nothing, okay? So we're floating and floating and floating. And now after, well, I've been doing this since I was 16, so after all these years, I'm able to just hover over the ocean, another place I like to go. And I just talk to my guide, my teachers, my loved ones. Sometimes I talk to aliens, and I'm like, okay, I know, because Edgar Cayce told me we were supposed to do something together. What is that? Can I know now? Sometimes you can't know everything you think you want to know. And sometimes they'll tell me, yes, we're going to be working on your patience, Tasha, because this time next year you're going to be presented with da-da-da-da-da, and you're going to really need to learn to be patient when dealing with that person or that situation. So you're just floating, just float, just float. There's not a care in the world. It's a nice, balmy 70 degrees. I'm warm, I'm comfortable, my stomach isn't hungry. It's just divine. Let's hover. Let's just hover. If you're afraid of heights, just walk. Just walk. Go horseback riding with your guides, or go swimming with your guides, because it's not a talking thing, it's a mental thing, okay? I like hovering. I want to hover. And then quite often, that person will disappear, and I'll say, is there anything else I need to learn in this meditation? Because you can't learn everything you think you want to learn. So a teacher will materialize next to me, and I'll say, what is your name? I always ask their name. That's very important, because if they can't tell you your name, I don't feel they should be there. And I'll say, hello, Black Hawk. Yes, I remember you were one of my doorkeepers. They change. Spirit guides change. You don't necessarily have to have the same one your whole life. I say, okay, what do I need to know about myself from you? And Black Hawk is very strong. All my doorkeepers are very strong. All my guides are very strong. He doesn't have a problem speaking loudly. Can not only hear him, but I feel his vibration slam against my chest and exude my soul all the way back to my silver cord, and my body remembers it. And I just float with him. I just float with him. And sometimes he'll say, okay, let's go horseback riding. And you are in spirit. You don't think, oh, I don't like horseback riding. There is no fear. There's no fear. That's why you can be hanging upside down from a balloon in the sky, or, you know, whatever your fear is. This is a good time to confront it, because you can do anything and it's not going to hurt you. Don't fight it. And when he's done talking, I say, is there anybody else that needs to step in, or is it my time to go? And quite often they'll say, that's all you need right now, okay? We don't always have to know everything all at once. We don't eat the whole elephant in one bite, okay? So I say, okay, I will walk back to my body. I'll walk back to my tree. And sometimes I hover back to my tree. And I sit in my chair in the tree. I make believe chair in the tree. And I just sit there, adjusting to the ether. Talk to my body briefly. And I say, okay, body, we're going to remember this. And we're going to remember it long enough to write it down. So I stand up and I walk back into my body. My doorkeeper and my master teacher, or one of my guides, make sure I am fully back in my body, and then they leave. And this is another very important part. When you unground. You can't walk around grounded all the time. You don't walk around, giving readings all the time, walking down the street. You do not. You do not. You slightly in your head stay protected all the time. But at this point, my spirit comes back in my body, and I tell my body again, we're going to remember everything until it is all written down. He makes sure I'm okay, and she makes sure I'm okay. Then they can leave, and I can then feel myself back in my physical chair, fill for my glass of water, I take a sip, and I just sit there. Don't be in a hurry to get up and leave. And make sure everything is adjusted just a little bit. And I say thank you, angels, teachers, and guides, fairies, aliens, all those that I never spoke to, have spoke to. Thank you for taking this time out of your schedule to help me understand me better. Okay, and you can open your eyes whenever. Come back in your body. Do not move. Sit there and write everything you just heard, smelt, felt, spoke on. Write it down now. You're human. You're not going to remember tomorrow. And the more you write it down, the better you're going to understand yourself. Once you understand yourself, everything will be made clear. And I want you to just sit there and become one with yourself again. And as you're writing in your journal, and I'm telling you, once you get a journal to write in, everything changes. Because once you choose to think of a new and different path, it's like a ripple in a pond. It affects every area of your life once you make a choice to choose. You're going to remember that if you don't write it down. Just write it down. What could it hurt? You know? I believe we have 7 in our inner band, and we have as many angels, teachers, whatever, as we want on the outer band. That's what Granny taught me. I have learned a lot of other ways, but for me that still works because it makes sense, especially when you hear a name. My students now are hearing names. And now I want you to ask, who are you? You got a name last week? Ask this week, who are you? What are you here for? Sorry. And you're going to need to know that instantly if they change. You know, not everybody keeps the same joy guide. No, that's the one that's like, heads up. And if you can't focus instantly and stay focused for the duration of that message, I guess I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, you need to pay attention. And that's why I said you're protected all the time. You don't stay grounded all the time. You ground and then you unground to face the physical world. See, in spirit, you got spirit looking out for you. And if you don't, keep trying. Because it's a wonderful thing. Knowing when I walk around that corner, spirit's going to say, no. Now stop. Mother Duck was walking through the lobby with all her babies. Okay. And I didn't need to scare them. Or whatever. You know? Mention. You know, with all the billions of things you have to do in the world, you know, you pay attention. You listen. The inner voice comes first. The outer voices come second. Okay? Now, I'm going to do a different meditation tomorrow without all the talking, sorry. Just wanted to do this because a lot of people don't realize, and try it for yourself. I'm not the end-all be-all. Try it for yourself. But a lot of people don't realize you need to ground. It's very important to ground yourself and keep yourself well protected. Otherwise, you're going to have one of those scenes from Ghost where that guy jumps in her body. Yeah, it happens. It's not pretty. It happens. Yeah, that's another video for another day. But grounding and then ungrounding is very, very, very important. But if you don't focus first, all of this is for naught.